Hey, everybody. I am so happy to be here. I've received so many messages of hope and love and inspiration, and people have been asking me specifically what can they do. And so I wanted to come in today and just be very transparent with you because I've gotten a lot of messages that I hadn't actually been able to respond to because honestly, I didn't know how. So I'm going to just invite a few of you in who may have asked me these questions or who may want to hear this. So just inviting you in here. So if you're here, let me know that you're here. Say hey. So this is actually a video for my white friends. I am a very loving person. I have friends of all races, nationalities, from different places, spaces, mindsets, religious background, political background. But what I can say about the people who are my friends, they are truly my friends. And I know that because I know what they do when this chaos is not happening. And so I wanted to come in today and answer. So I've gotten so many people in my inbox. What do I do? How do I respond? What do I say? And so I just want to share my perspective. But before I get into my perspective, let me say this for all Black people. And I feel really comfortable saying this for all Black people. We are not all the same. What is valued and important to one Black person from one part of the world or from one mindset is going to be completely different from another Black person and their mindset and what's important to them and what they value. So if you take my words and you misconstrue them as the only way to do something, you're going to be mistaken. So I just want to say that this is what's going to make me feel better. This is what I need to say to the people who are in community with me. This does not mean that somebody else is going to feel the same or that they're going to agree. I'm just talking about me and you who are listening, who are in relationship to me. I am saying this is what I have to say to you, and that no matter what another Black person says, it's not your job to validate it or invalidate it. You just have to choose who you're going to be in community with and how you're going to serve. Okay. So again, I feel comfortable saying that for all Black people. We aren't the same, but this is what I wish my Black friends will do. And I'm going to share 5 tips. So like 5 things I want to see my white friends do. So the first thing I want to see my white friends do is please stop inboxing me and telling me how much you hate racism and how appalled you are. See, you don't have to convince me that you hate racism and that racism is bad because I've been experiencing racism my entire life. And I already know how bad it is. What I would like for you to do is go tell white people how bad you hate racism. I would like for you to tell your elected officials how much you hate racism, your bosses how much you hate racism, your privileged spouses, the people who you lay in bed with, who you know don't have a clean and good heart and spirit. That's who you need to tell that you hate racism. You don't have to tell me. Because if I thought for a minute that you condoned racism, you would not be on my friends list. So you don't have to validate who you are to me. You need to go out and spread the good word or your belief to your own community. If you could do that for me, that would make me feel so much better because I actually don't need to read about it. I need to see you out in your own communities with your own people and telling them how much you hate racism. In the meetings, when you're in meetings, tell them how much you hate racism, right? Before you give an elected official your vote, you tell them how much you hate racism. I really, y'all, it's really hard and triggering for me for you to email me because I'm not the gatekeeper to your salvation, nor am I like going to be able to validate your feelings. You're going to feel good when you get out and do that work and you go and tell the gatekeepers and your friends and your fathers and your brothers and your cousins and your sisters that you hate. That's when you're going to feel good. Okay. Number 2, I need you to listen. I see all of these pictures of all of these people. They are on the front lines. I see people out standing in front of the police. But what I do not see is that there are less than 1,000 people following the MLK Association of Asheville. And they've been doing the work for decades. They've been doing the work for decades. So you on the front line, and you're not even listening to the Racial Justice Coalition, who has less than 1,000 followers. You're not listening to CoThink, who has less than 1,000 followers. You're not listening to Equity Over Everything, who has less than 1,000 followers. Who are you listening to? Because these are the organizations that's doing the work. You're not listening to the Eagle Market Streets and the YMIs. You are following who? Listening to what? So if you really, 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 really hate racism and you really want to make a change in our community, listen to the people who are doing the work all the time. There are more people outside marching than who have followed the MLK Association, than who have followed the Racial Justice Coalition, than who have followed CoThink, who have followed Equity Over Everything. And y'all, we've been doing this work. We've been doing this work. So if you're not listening to the Tracy Green Washingtons, the Tammy Forte Logans, the Aisha Adams, the Desiree Attaways, the Rob Thomases, then you're not sincere, and I need you to listen. Step back, step out, and just listen. Listen to what we have to say. Listen to what we're asking for, because we can lead ourselves into our own liberation. What we're asking for is strong ally support, right? And so I know I can be blatant and honest and uncontained, because you're supposed to be my friends. You're on my personal page and I'm connecting with you. So I'm just going to keep it real. The third thing I need you to do is be sincere. The third thing I need you to do is be sincere. If you're watching this, I am assuming you don't know George Floyd. I am assuming you are not his neighbor. But if you are on this page, you are my neighbor. You should be listening to what my son has to say, what my husband has to say, what your neighbor has to say. That is what's important. I see all these crocodile tears for somebody that you don't even know, and our children are not learning how to read. There is a national emergency in Asheville, and our kids don't know how to read. I want you to be upset. I want you to be angry, but I want you to be sincere in your anger. How can you tell me that you're sad about George Floyd when you have given Johnny Rush nothing? I don't believe you. And I love you. And so in loving you, here is my correction to you. My correction to you is be sincere, right? I'm not expecting you to cry for every black person, but I am expecting you to be sincere. If you don't give a fuck that the children aren't learning how to read, I have a hard time believing that you care that a man is dead in another city, in another state. If you don't understand the rate of poverty and hungerness that we have in our city, if you're not concerned about that, if you're not crying over that, if you're not to the police and to the mayor for that, how dare you rush up for George Floyd? It's insincere, and I don't believe it, and it's causing me to have a hard time. You know, it's causing me to be a little bit, you know, out of sorts. So if you could just be sincere in your activism. That's all I'm asking. Be sincere in what it is that you stand for. And we're not going to all stand for the same thing. And some things we're not going to agree on. But if you're honest and sincere with me, I will be honest and sincere with you. All these crocodile chills for George Floyd, I don't believe it when you don't follow the MLK Association. I don't believe it when you're not donating to CoThink. I don't believe it when I send you the Justice or Not podcast and ask you to listen to a black woman's story and you tell me you don't listen to podcasts or you don't have time. I just don't believe you. So I'm just asking you to please, please, please be sincere in your activism if you want to see movement. The fourth thing, which should have been the first thing, but I wanted to warm y'all up to this, is share money and resources. If you are not donating to grassroots organizations, to the influencers like the Michael Hayes that you see in community, the Robert Thomases, the many community members, the Tony Shivers, the Libby Kyles, if you're not donating to the Tracy Green Washingtons, then you're missing it. And if you're not donating time and resources, you're missing it. You're just missing it. And I love you, and I'm trying to correct you, and I'm trying to do it out of love. But y'all are stressing me out because I'm trying to figure out how you crying for George Floyd when 90% of the kids can't do math. I just don't get it. I don't get it, and it upsets me, and it hurts me because it feels insecure, insincere, and we're not sharing money and resources. We've had millions of dollars come into our city through Buckham One, through PPP, through the tourism fund, and I didn't see a single person yelling, Black Lives Matter. Why are y'all doing this? None of the people who are posting this now. So be sincere and share money and resources. And what I mean by share money and resources is buy from people of color. Share your resources. Share your stapler, your pens, your pencils. Give a car ride. Lend some sugar. Be a neighbor. Get a mask. It's so many things that you can do on an individual level that really will help people, and you can do it. I know you can. I believe in you. Okay? But you have to do that. And then if you're not advocating. So one of the big things about white supremacy and power and privilege is, one of the beautiful things about privilege is you can use your privilege for good. You can use your privilege for good. You can advocate at tables for African American people in your community. And you know what the problems are. And if you don't know what the problems are, I have a hard time believing you're crying for George Floyd. And I just need y'all to understand, this is just me. I'm not speaking for all Black people, just me. Okay? The number 5 or the 5th thing you can do is become a student to humanity, to equity, to diversity, and to inclusivity. Okay? Become a student. Connect to that. Understand that there is no white person medal for reading the books. That it is a lifelong journey, that we've all been programmed. You've been programmed to believe that you're superior. I've been programmed to dismantle your superiority. So we all have been programmed. And we're all living together, and we're trying to be the best human beings we can be. And so that means there are going to be a lot of mistakes that happen, that there are going to be a lot of people that get hurt, that this is not going to be an easy road. And so you have to be committed long after the protesters go home, long after George Floyd is in the coffin and that there's dirt over his coffin, long after that, long after we have another long list of names that hide his name. Like, I haven't heard Philando Castile's name, but I remember the day that he died. So long after that, you have to still be committed to telling your friends how much you hate racism. You have to still be committed to sharing your resources. You have to be still committed to listening. You have to still be committed to being sincere. And if you can do those things, I don't know how other Black people will receive you. I don't know if you will win the love and affection for the entire Black community. But when I see my white friends doing these things, when I see them being committed, when I see them sharing their money and their resources, and I see them being sincere, and I see them listening, and I see them convincing their other white friends that they hate racism, they all right with me. And I can only speak for me. I can't speak for anybody else, like I said at the beginning of this. But if I see you doing those things, and if you feel in your heart you're doing those things, then you are all right with me. And you are free to move about the country in love with me, because I believe that you have something to give to the rest of us. But that's all I'm asking my white friends to do. I'm not asking you to stand on the front line and be violent. I'm not asking you to do anything but commit to being a student of true humanity and in love, and to share your hate for racism with racists. I'm just asking you to listen. And I'm only asking you to be sincere. You don't have to believe in everything I believe. You don't have to agree. Just be sincere. And that is what I'm asking my white friends to do. That is all I am asking. I'm not asking you to send me all of your money, but I do take donations, because this is hard work. It's hard work getting up telling y'all the truth. There's a lot at stake, you know? don't think that this work is easy. It's not easy on my mind, my heart, my notebook, my time. Like, it's not easy, but I'm here because I want to be in community with you. And I want to be in community with committed human beings who love humanity and who love love. I want to be in community with people who are committed to sharing their money and their resources with the less fortunate. I want to be in community with people who are sincere. Who are sincere. How dare you shed a tear for George Floyd, who you don't even know, when there are kids who aren't eating every day in our city, in our zip code. It's disrespectful. It's infuriating, I'll tell you. So just learn to be sincere. And if you don't know how to be sincere, practice, because you can be a student of this. I'm not expecting you all to see this video, go and make a change, and then it's magic. It doesn't happen like that. But I am telling you, because so many people have inboxed me and said, Aisha, what are you thinking? What can I do? You can be committed to humanity. You can be sincere, right? You can listen. You can listen. I just can't believe I see thousands, hundreds, it looks like thousands of white people on the front line, but you're not following CoThink. That's the organization where the black people and the white people get together and build and do philanthropy and all this good work, but you fighting. And you're not following CoThink. And Tracy has laid out the plan. And the CoThink members have come together to work together to show you we have a plan. And you got to let us lead. You got to do it. The MLK Association has been doing pristine, beautiful, amazing work. When have you made a donation? Right? That's what I'm saying. The Racial Justice Coalition is here, and they are creating community for us. And Rob Thomas is everywhere. Have you donated to the Racial Justice Coalition? If not, save the crocodile tears for George Foreman. I don't believe you. No, that's not cool. Do the work. And I think that's what this conversation boils down to. And I want to say, thank you. Thank you for believing in me and asking me my opinion. But again, I want to remind you, I don't speak for all white people. All black people. I speak for Aisha. And I'm saying, to be in community with me, these are the standards and the requirements. And it's not much to ask. And I do love you. And I do want to be in community with you. And I do want us to have a community where everybody has equity and everybody has a stake. But I do not deal with liars. I do not do fake protesters. I do not do it. You're either going to share the resources and the money, tell the truth, and stay committed, or find another black person to kind of hold on to. Okay? That's really it. This will be for me now, everything else I'm doing is about the work that I've been doing, because I've been doing this work. Tracy Green Washington have been doing this work. Michael Hayes has been doing this work. Dewana Little has been doing this work. Shanika Smith has been doing this work. Kim Rooney has been doing this work. Nicole has been doing, there's so many people who have been doing this work that you're not listening to, that you're not following. When I go and I look, that's what you need to do, is you need to listen and be committed and to love. Okay? That's my spiel. I know I'm going to get a million questions, and I'm going to go drink some water, and I'll be here for the Q&A. If you have any questions, I hope that you see that I am angry, that I am not okay. And the post of all those black people saying that they're trying to be okay, I'm actually not trying to be okay. I'm trying to thrive. And in order for me to thrive, I need you to do your part. And in order for you to do your part, I have to be honest with you. And that is hard. It's hard work. It's hard work for people to have to come to you and tell you the truth, because it's not nice and it's not pretty. It's just the truth. So if I go back to the MLK Association page and by the end of the day, they don't have 1,000 followers, you best believe I'm going to be able to tell who's telling the truth and who not telling the truth. If I go back to the freaking CoThink page and you're not following CoThink and donating to CoThink or donating to Eagle Market Street, or if you're not doing something for the real community where you live, I don't believe you. I just don't believe you. And I want to believe you because I love you. I am in community with you. I am trying to grow with you. I'm raising my son here. I have land here. I have invested my time. So I want to love you. I want to be in community with you. But you will not lie to me like you are mourning George Floyd when you're not mourning our children. It's disrespectful. I will post all of the links to all of the organizations who I feel are doing the work. And I will invite other Black Americans who would like to share people who are doing the work for them. My brand is national. I don't just deal with Asheville, so I will try to do a list that is national. And I will do the very best I can with that. But at this point, the MLK Association has been having the prayer breakfast, the march, the candlelight visual for what, 20 years? So you should be connected if you've been in Asheville and you Black Lives Matter. When I received the Martin Luther King Award, I looked around and I wanted to say, like, I didn't see you. I want to see you. When I'm at the Racial Justice Coalition meeting, I want to hear about what you have done. Victoria, I'm happy to lead them to those organizations because here's the deal. Most organizations, all these PR companies that are sharing Black Lives Matter, they have never reached out to these companies and said, hey, let me help you get your PR. So they might be hard to find. That's okay. I don't mind. That's to me, posting a link is my job. It is my job because I brought it to you. I said, hey, this is what this is just, again, this is me. You have to decide like, hey, I'm listening to Aisha or I'm listening to Sally Sue or I'm listening to Jane. Because me, Sally Sue, and Jane, all three of us, we are all Black and we're all experiencing this at the same time from different angles. And so again, what they see and what I see are going to be completely different. So again, the only thing that I can truly say for all Black people is that we don't all think the same and we don't all believe the same thing. But if you want to be in my life, if you want me to acknowledge your work or want me to see you, like literally all I'm asking, listen, be committed, share your money and resources, be sincere, and stop inboxing me about how much you hate racism and tell your boss, tell your elected officials, tell your husband, tell your girlfriend, tell your cousin. Do not inbox me because you don't have to convince me I hate racism too. So that is a fruitless endeavor. Now, I love y'all. Did y'all see how good my braid out turned? I just wanted to just say, because I had the braids in the last video, so I made sure I did my hair for this one in case y'all decided to share. But I doubt it because I know it's a little rough around the edges, but it's real. This is the truth. This is how I feel right now in this moment as I watch, as I get messages that the Ku Klux Klan is outside in my hometown where my mother is. So you can understand that this is not just like a moment in time. This has been going on for me for 40 years. I have been dealing with racism and oppression for 40 years. So how dare you? How dare you tell me that you love me? And yet you are marching in the streets for a man you barely even know. It's just disrespectful and rude. Especially when, as a woman, I have to be your neighbor who volunteers with you, who stands next to you, and you don't make sure that I get equal pay, that when the funding comes down, that people in my community get fed, but you are in arms about George Floyd. Please, somebody explain to me why. How is this so? I don't get it. I just don't get it, and it hurts. And I am not okay because I don't want to be okay. I want to thrive. It is definitely okay to share. It is definitely okay to share, you know, because I want you to understand that I'm telling you what other Black people ain't telling you, why they still mad at you, even though you marching. Because you marching and you doing all of this and they're suffering and they've lost their jobs and their organizations couldn't get funding. and their children are hungry. And you're telling me you're in arms about George Floyd? I don't believe you. I just don't believe you. So I want to say that, and I want to tell you what my mom used to tell me when I made her upset, when I made her angry, when I made her cry. All right. She used to say, I have to, correction is a part of love. Right? Like if I didn't care, I could be in the back groups and just be saying like, oh, I'm just so tired of white people. But that's not it. It's like, I really want to see a difference. And I believe you. I read my emails. I'm reading my inboxes. And all of you are telling me you want to do good. You're all telling me you want to do the right thing. So I'm sharing with you what I think is good and is the right thing. And it's not disrespectful. And I am angry. I'm an angry black woman, and I have every right to be. As you cry over a stranger, and I have to deal with the kids who are being gunned down. And I am working on who's hungry. And Philip Cooper is trying to get people equal pay. And Tracy is trying to break down systems of white oppression and philanthropy. And Robert Thomas is doing the work for racial justice. And Michael Hayes is doing the work for wellness. And Libby is eliminating racism and empowering women while still keeping up with our children. While DeWanda Little is holding on to the artifacts at the YMI. Like, we are the ones who are doing the work. We are doing it. And how dare you? How dare you be upset for them and not be upset for us? How dare you? And say that you love us and that Black lives matter when your neighbor's life does not even matter. All right, so that's been on my heart a while, and maybe I can actually get some work done. Yes, oh yes, Rachel, my hair is banging. I'm loving it. I did it. I got it done, and yeah, it's banging. Thanks, girl. Your hair be banging too. But I just wanted to come in and say that because I felt like maybe nobody was going to tell y'all. But I'm going to tell y'all, like, I don't know George Floyd, and my pain is because I know that could be my husband. My pain is because I know that could be my son. My pain is that's been my students. That's where my pain is connected to. But I don't understand, if you don't care that your neighbor's kids aren't learning to read or they're hungry, how you could be connected to somebody who live in a whole nother part of the country and cry. It's weird. I don't understand. And if you have a solution or a description or understanding and can make me understand how that is so, please tell me, because I would like to know. Because I watch you get together in completely lily white spaces and not even think to invite a Black person. I'm listening to the Philip Coopers who are saying, nah, I'm not getting no funding. I'm listening. I'm watching. And I'm like, where are all these people? Okay, Cindy, at the beginning of this video, I gave 5 steps. And I'm going to recap that, and then I'm really going to go because I'm thirsty. Number 1, the number 1 thing you can do is stop fake. Nope, that's not number 1. Hold on. It's a pop quiz. What's number 1? Number 1 is you can listen. You can listen. I have looked around and I have seen in my particular community that many of you are not following the MLK Association. You are not following the Racial Justice Coalition. You are not following CoThink. You are not following Equity Over Everything. So number 1, you could actually sit down and listen to the people who are doing this work, who are trained to do this work, who have strategically planned to do this work, and who've dedicated their life to doing this work. You could listen. Number 2, you don't need to tell me how much you hate racism. I hate racism. I have been enduring racism for 40 years. You can tell your husbands, your sons, your daughters, your wives, your girlfriends, your boyfriends, your grandparents how much you hate racism. You can tell your bosses. You can tell your friends. You can tell your gatekeepers in your community how much you hate racism. But there is no need to inbox me to tell me how much you hate racism. Because if you are on my page, then I don't consider you a racist and we have the same agenda. So it's a waste of time. Number 3, you can be sincere. If we are in community, and we are, and I look at the test scores, and I look at the education that Black children receive, and I look at the hunger rate, like how poverty rate, and I look at how people are hungry, and I see that you have taken to the streets for this stranger, George Floyd, but you have not taken to the streets for our children. You have not taken to the streets for people who are hungry. You are crying over George Floyd, but have not donated $1 to Johnny Rush. It, to me, does not feel sincere. So be sincere. That's really the thing, right? Like, advocate for your community, the people you know, the people you have to face every day. Love on them. 4, you can share money and resources. And I said earlier, that should be number 1. You should be sharing your money and your resources, but I wanted to ease y'all into that. So if you're not sharing your money and your resources, if you're not putting your money and your resources where your mouth is, we don't believe you. And number 5, I meet so many white woke people in Asheville. I love it. But at the same time, y'all be too woke. Y'all be woker than me. Y'all be so woke, you can't learn nothing new. You so woke, you're not a student to humanity. You're not a student to equity, to diversity, to inclusivity. You guys, we are dealing with decades of being programmed. If you're white, you've been programmed to believe that you are superior. And if you are Black, then you have been programmed to believe that your number 1 mode of operation is to actually dismantle white supremacy. So the issue here, or the thing that I want y'all to understand, is that we're all dealing with programming. And we've been programmed to be against each other, right? Because I'm supposed to say, look at this white privileged person, let me eradicate that. And you've been raised to not even pay me any attention and to keep moving. And we are all deprogramming. We are all this is hard work. This is work. This is a lifelong work. This is not a fly-by-night minute. I've been programmed to believe that you are my enemy, and you've been programmed to believe I ain't shit. Like, we got work to do. You can know that it's bullshit, but you will never know the depths of that bullshit. Never in your lifetime. It is a work. Yes, it's bullshit, but it is a work. We are all working together. And we're all doing work. And it is not supposed to be easy. It is not supposed to be fun. You're supposed to be confused. It's supposed to be hard. That's why they call it work. It's not called vacation. And the 4 or 5 classes that you've taken does not qualify you to have a full understanding. Because I've been in this scheme for 40 years. I have several degrees, and I'm still trying to understand the systematic oppression and racism that I am under. I'm still trying to get it. So you don't have it. And when you do pretend like you don't have it, you don't make my list. That means you are not sincere and you are not being a student of humanity. And that's an issue for me. Because I'm having to be a student of humanity. I am having to learn every single day how to be a better woman, a better mother, a better community member. You know, so just be a student, and you're not going to get it right. You're not going to always get it right. Learning is about failing and starting over. The expectation for most Black people is not that you get it right the first time. See, that's not where the work is. The work is showing up over and over and over again until you get it right. So there are no master masters at this. Every day we're peeling back new layers of white supremacy, patriarchy. Y'all, I like every day I posted something a couple weeks ago about the damn trees. You know, like it's deep. It's deeper than we could ever imagine. And what we have to do is be committed to that work. That's a lifelong work. And I'll be with you as long as I am here to be in that lifelong work with you. But please stop acting like you an expert. When you just learned these terms, what, a decade ago, 2 decades ago? This has been going on for 300 years. You cannot become an expert at this. You're not going to graduate from it. You're not going to liberate yourself from it. Just like I'm not going to liberate myself from being black. I'm not going to graduate from being black. We're all learning every single day. And that is okay. It's okay. But you better be sincere or we're not going to have it. Because all we're asking you to do is be sincere. No, not one time in my little list did I say everybody need to be right. Time in my list did I say everybody need to be able to identify racism, diversity, inclusion, you know, the white supremacy. You're not going to always be there. But you can always be sincere and have character. And you can always move on in your life and tell your white friends and your elected officials and your bosses the truth. And you can be committed on this journey with me. So instead of inboxing me and asking me what you can do, inbox me now. Inbox me now and tell me that you're committed to humanity. Yes, there's plenty of room to learn. There's plenty of room to learn. That's why I'm here. I'm not here because I'm angry. Like I said at the beginning, my mom corrected me because she loves me. And I am correcting you because I love you. I'm correcting you because I'm in community with you. My son lives here. My husband lives here. I live here. Okay? Now, I am not tired of your messages. I am not tired of helping you and responding to you. I am here for you. This is my work. I do this. This is what I'm here for. This is my calling, is to be here and to listen. But if you call me, I feel I have a right to tell you you are not being sincere. You are not committing to being a student of equity, diversity, and inclusivity. And I feel like I should be able to tell you, there you go, telling me again about how much you hate what racism instead of white people. Yes, I do need some water. All right, y'all. I'm going to get out of here. I can't believe so many people are here. I love y'all. Thank you for lifting up my voice. Thank you for being a part of my community. Thank you for trying, right? Like, give yourself for just trying. Like, it's difficult. We're in the middle of all these things and it's hard, but I'm here and I'm available for consultation. I'm here and I'm available for community. I'm just trying to be the best woman that I can be. And now that I got that off my chest, I feel like I can even be a better woman. Okay? And I say this sincerely, like, I love my community. I love being in community with you all. I moved a lot of times and I couldn't continue to move, but I'm committed. I like my community. I like y'all. I like being here. And I'm dedicated to helping y'all see the truth and to being honest and to finding a space to be myself. All right? Okay. I love y'all. I miss seeing y'all too. And I will be online and available via inbox. And I just want, and I got a big announcement coming up later this week. And I just love y'all. All right. Bye.